If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Cashing Out on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Let's have some fun. It's another hour. Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo, taking you through the late hours of your Sunday night, right on in to your Monday morning. We've got so much to get to. Conference, finals, previews, NBA, Stanley Cup playoffs, you name it. We've got another terrific day of baseball betting in the books. Brandon fought over 15.5 outs, gets there. Reds beat the Pirates 7-1. Folks, that gives us a 2-0 Monday and extends our streak to 26-6. Last 8 days, last 32 bets, hitting over 81% of them, up over 20.5 units in the last 8 days. Find me someone else who is up over 20 units in 8 days. That's what we do right here on Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo. Nothing but winners. We'll start to look ahead to the Tuesday slate here coming up shortly. By the way, thank goodness we got Brandon Pfaadt that 16th out when we did. How about it? Right after he records out 16 to lead off the 6th, Hyun-Sung Kim, the 9-hitter for the Dodgers. Ohtani and Betts, Mookie Betts for a second time, go back to back off of Pfaadt. So he's allowed 3 hits, 3 solo home runs, Betts twice, and Ohtani all to left field. Arizona leads it 7-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning at Dodger Stadium. All of a sudden, that run line, which once upon a time in Hollywood was 7.5, now 3.5 runs. Arizona laying 3.5 runs, minus 20 cents. Dodgers plus 3.5, minus 10 cents. D-backs on the money line, minus 950. LA nearly 6-1. That live total, 13.5. As we are almost 2/3 of the way through, we would need 4 runs in the final 3 innings to go over that 13.5 mark. Kansas City has just tacked on another Jordan Hicks, now out of the bullpen for the Giants. That Jordan Hicks starter experiment lasted all of about a year and 2 months. Gives up an RBI hit. Then the Royals, Kyle Isbell gets caught in a pickle, and that ends the inning. So they get a run. Hicks records the final out, 3-1, headed to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance you for San Francisco. They're 12-1 on the money line, plus 350 to score a run here and cover that run line, plus 1.5. Angels still up 4-3 over the A's, headed to the 7th there. The Angels minus 190. A's plus $1.40. I mean, look, 3 innings to go, down 1. I mean, there's no way I would lay nearly $2 with the Angels in this scenario. I feel like the A's have all the value on their side at plus $1.45. Going to bet some more baseball coming up here shortly. Our friend Michaela Bennett giving out picks now for Underdog Fantasy. She's going to join the show in just about 10 minutes or so. She was with us Thursday. She was terrific. Gave out 5 plays, went 4-1. You look at the VSiN leaderboard, the top 10 experts. You'll see my name. You'll see Michaela's name on that leaderboard. So she's going to be on with us in just about 10 minutes. I can't wait. Let's talk a little Western Conference Finals, because this OKC Minnesota series, all we keep hearing is rest versus rust. And I think that the quick turnaround might actually be beneficial to Oklahoma City. They don't have to travel. They're staying at home. They're staying in OKC. And look, is it a little bizarre? Absolutely. There were times in that series against Denver where the Thunder, even in the series against Memphis, round one, same series, there were instances where they had 2 days off between games. Now in this, we're switching series here. We're going from a game 7 to a game 1, and it's like, hey, you got a day and a half because Sunday was a matinee. Reset and turn it back on. Minnesota, mind you, has had 5 full days off. But when you look at the youth with this Oklahoma City team, right? I mean, remember the graphics during March Madness? They would flash the average age of Auburn's starting 5 and compare it to Oklahoma City's starting 5, and they were like within a year of each other. That Auburn Tigers starting 5 and this OKC Thunder starting 5. This is a young team, and look at the minutes played game 7 against Denver. Because that was such a butt whooping on Sunday. I mean, you have starters like Isaiah Hartenstein and Lou Dort who didn't have to exert themselves in a strenuous manner, right? Hartenstein and Dort played 17 minutes each. OKC, I mean, I don't think they had multiple starters go out there and play 30 minutes. I think let's see what we had, the final tally. Hartenstein and Dort played 17. All right, SGA played 36, Jalen Williams played 33. No one else eclipsed 30 minutes. Your next high minutes guy was Cason Wallace off the bench with 29. And that's another thing with this Thunder team. Look, Minnesota's got depth, right? When you have the luxury of a Naz Reid sixth-man situation and Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante DiVincenzo can come in and make it rain from 3 any night off the bench, Minnesota has talent coming off their bench. Oklahoma City, what's so unique about this backcourt is the defense they have, not just with their 3 starting guards, not just with SGA, Dort, and Jalen Williams, who are all absolutely superb, otherworldly defenders, but the defense that OKC gets off the bench with Wallace and with Caruso, that's what makes them so versatile. I mean, the fact that their wings, they could have 2 terrific defensive starters hit the bench and replace them with 2 more terrific defenders. And these guys can guard in some instances 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. There were times on the court where Caruso would have to switch and guard Jokic. And Alex Caruso is not a big 6'5", we'll say. I question if he's really 6'5", all right? I mean, Caruso, even if he is, going up against 6'11" Jokic, who could probably snap him like a twig. Caruso's listed at 6'5", $185. I weigh $190. I mean, Caruso, I'm 6'4", 190. Caruso listed at 6'5", 185, was guarding Nikola Jokic. That just shows you the handwork that he's got, the versatility for him to slide down and not just guard a center, but guard the best basketball player in the world. That's what makes this Oklahoma City team so special. It's not, and I said this the other day, it's not that they're 8, 9, 10 deep. It's that they're 8, 9, 10 strong. That you feel confident with Caruso on the court, with Wiggins, with Wallace, with, how about Isaiah Joe? I mean, this guy can go out there some nights and give you 20 minutes. I mean, game 7, he played just 4 minutes, took just 1 shot. For some reason, Mark Daniel opted to not use him. The guy averaged over 10 points a game this year. I mean, for your number, I'm not putting him in the All-Star game for averaging 10 points per game, but for your number 9, maybe number 10 option, I mean, you've got the other Jalen Williams. This Oklahoma City team, again, it's not that they're 8, 9, 10 deep. They are 8, 9, 10 strong. They can throw these different rotations at you and not skip a beat, whereas you see a lot of other teams regress and you see the play decline in typically the second quarter when they give their starters a bit of a break before the halftime. Coming out of the first quarter, they go reserves, B team second quarter, and you see a decline in the quality of play. This Oklahoma City team doesn't have that. So I'm not worried about the quick turnaround because they're young. They didn't play a whole lot of strenuous minutes, as you really don't in a 32-point Game 7 win. I think Oklahoma City is going to be just fine in this series against Minnesota. And we might be looking at the potential for an all blue and orange NBA championship. OKC, my New York Knicks, Just talked about the Knicks a little bit not too long ago. More on that Knicks-Pacers series to come. It could be a fun finals if that's what we're looking at. Folks, take your betting to the next level with our friends over at First Bet. Whether it's Santa Anita, Gulfstream Park, or beautiful Saratoga in my home state of New York, First Bet puts the action right at your fingertips. Sign up now, firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use our promo code VEASAN200, and you could score a 20% rebate on all wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Bet smarter today at firstbet.com. How about my pony picks, by the way, lately? I mean, this hot streak, this 26-6 heater we're on last 32 days, it has mainly been baseball, but it has gone beyond Major League Baseball. Giving out the winner at the Preakness. I had the winner at the... I never got a horse race right in my life. Now I've got the Derby and the Preakness, back-to-back horse races. How about playing the ponies with our friends over at First Bet? Before we wrap it up, we've got more baseball bets to come as promised on the other side. But I can't wait for this Panthers-Hurricanes Eastern Conference Final in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I hate to go chalk, and I hate to go with any repeat offenders typically, but I just don't believe that the Carolina Hurricanes belong on the ice with the Florida Panthers. I mean, ever since the Hurricanes hoisted the cup 2 decades ago, I was learning how to count with those little block thingies in second grade last time Carolina hoisted the cup. Since then, 3 conference finals appearances, 12 losses, no wins. Been swept 3 straight conference finals appearances. Now, do I think Carolina is going to get swept in this series? I don't. Florida's been vulnerable at times on the road, so I think the Hurricanes should steal one of these first 2 games on home ice. But I'm all over the Panthers in this series. I love Florida minus a game and a half. We gave that out yesterday, plus $1.45. If you want to get fancy with it and play an exacta, Panthers in 6, I'm not going to lie, I love that bet. Tuesday MLB bets with Michaela Bennett giving out picks for Underdog. She joins us up next. It's Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Cashing Out continues with myself, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through the late hours of your Monday night, right on into your Tuesday morning, especially for our friends over on the East Coast. And now we're taking you over to the Progressive guest line. She was on the show Thursday, gave out nothing but winners. Let's go back to our friend from Underdog Fantasy, Michaela Bennett, and welcome her in to Cashing Out. Michaela, how are you? Before we get into your picks, I got to know, what were your thoughts on rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball this past weekend?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I know there were some games that people didn't really care about the rivalries, but I really enjoyed, especially the New York matchup. But I really liked it. I think the guys maybe didn't appreciate as much the players, but I think it was really fun and just kind of like a nice weekend to see close in proximity matchups, whether they are rivalry or not. I think it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I thought it was fantastic. You got to see Phillies, Pirates, 2 potential Cy Young candidates, Wheeler and Skeens back-to-back days. Mets, Yankees, Subway Series is always the best. I mean, Chris Sale and Garrett Crochet at Fenway Park. To me, it was a great success. I absolutely loved it. I figured you'd enjoy it too. It's why I wanted to start there. But let's get into your Tuesday best bets. And let's start north of the border and work our way south. Padres, Blue Jays in Toronto. What do you like in this one?
I really like Dylan Cease over 6.5 strikeouts. He's averaging like a little over 6 right now, not quite 6.5 across his 9 games, but he had 10 strikeouts his last outing and 9 strikeouts before. So I feel like he's really dialed in right now on what is working well. I know he made some adjustments to his mechanics, and I think those are finally starting to see the fruit of those changes. And I will definitely take the over on 6.5 strikeouts for Dylan Cease up in Toronto.
Yeah, he's heating up. Like you said, 10 against the Angels, 9 against the Yankees. ERA in May, just over 2.5 after what was a pretty disastrous April for Cease. I think he's a guy, ride the hot hand now while you can before the books start adjusting, because if he keeps pitching the way he has through 3 starts in May, these numbers are going to start inflating. How about another guy who, surprisingly, his K-prop has not inflated just yet, but I imagine the price is going to be better now than it will be tomorrow. Detroit, St. Louis, are we targeting a reigning Cy Young Award winner in this one?
Absolutely. I feel like this is almost a gimme right now, like a lock. Tariq Skubal over 7.5 strikeouts. He's averaging 7.8 right now, so almost 8 strikeouts a game. But his last 2 outings, he got 11 and 12 strikeouts. So it's just been incredible to watch him do what he does. So I'm definitely taking this. But like you said, I feel like as the season moves along, the line's going to be higher and not as favorable odds. So I'm definitely going to take these ones while I have them.
Yeah, he's gotten 11 strikeouts in 3 of his last 5 games. I'm shocked this is still at
Incredible.
7.5.
Yeah.
I am right there with you. I'm going to be playing that one as well.
He's so fun to watch. It's incredible what he's been doing.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I mean, every time he's out there, look, the Detroit Tigers have the best record in baseball right now. I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card on May the 19th. And even though he only goes every 5th day, he is a huge piece of that. How about a game down in South Beach? Cubs, Marlins. What are you looking at in this one?
I'm taking the Cubs money line on this one. They're facing the Marlins. They got walked off tonight. So they had a win secured going into the 9th. Unfortunately, the Marlins did score 2. I don't see them losing back to back in South Beach. So I'm going to take the money line for the Cubs on this one.
I like it. And the price is moving in your direction. It was minus 165 originally. Now I'm seeing closer to minus 150 at some shops. So getting a better price on the Cubbies. How about in the prop market? You've got a hitter prop you like in this one?
I do. I like PCA, Pete Crowd Armstrong, for over 1.5 total bases. So he did go 0 for 5 tonight, and I don't think he will do it again tomorrow. That's just really unlike him to go 0 for in back-to-back days especially. But the past week, he was hitting 458 with 11 hits. I think 3 triples in there and a double. So I definitely like him over 1.5 total bases tomorrow against the Marlins.
I love it. I mean, he has been terrorizing opposing pitchers this year. Yeah. I've got PTSD from the Mets trading him away back in 2021 for Javi Baez, who you made a little money off of last week when you came on the show and gave out a Javi Baez prop. Nice full circle moment, back-to-back appearances, and you're giving out plays on Baez and PCA. If I'm not mistaken, you had another play in that Tigers-Cardinals game. What are you looking at there in addition to the Skubal strikeout prop?
Yeah, I like the Tigers here specifically because Skubal is on the mound. I feel like you have very good odds when Tariq is on the mound, the strikeout prop that I mentioned earlier, but also facing the Cardinals. And anytime Tariq's on the mound, I'm going to take the Tigers. Like you said, they're the hottest team in baseball right now. First 1 to 30 wins. Facing the Cardinals, they did lose tonight. I don't think they'll do it again. So I'm going to take the Tigers money line here.
All right, Michaela, I got to ask you about the Cy Young race because we just saw an absolute gem from Chris Bubich in San Francisco. Was working on a no-hitter through 6 2/3, ends up going 7 scoreless. Royals win it 3-1. He's sitting there at 50-1 in the market. A $10 bet would win you $500 right now on Bubich to win the Cy Young Award. I know you've got Skubal atop the list, and Hunter Brown, we've spoken about last time you were on the show, has been amazing, and you got the Max Frieds and the Jacob deGroms of the world. Is Chris Bubich, do you think this is sustainable? Is he worth a bet in your estimation, a little sprinkle now for the AL Cy Young?
I think If you want to take a flyer on him, absolutely. I'm not fully confident yet. I know it's still May, but if he's still trending for a couple more starts like he has been to start this season, maybe by June, I could put some money on him. I think, like we talked about, Cole Reagans is also doing really well, but he also just got put on the IL. So Bubich got a bigger role now in the rotation, I would think, with losing Reagans for at least a couple starts. But Bubich is the real deal. He's been a great addition to the Royals rotation. And if you want to win some money, I feel like that isn't completely out of the question. But unfortunately, some of these AL Cy Young candidates are just doing incredible things that it's just really hard to compete. You basically have to be perfect all season to even get a Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean, especially the lefties in the American League, right? Bubich and Reagans you just mentioned, and Max Fried and Crochet and Skubal at the top of the odds board there. Let me ask you about Cole Reagans, because he has been a really interesting case to look at this year. I mean, his strikeout numbers are incredible. He's been a walking winning ticket in terms of taking the over on his K props. But he's also had 4 starts, all really coming in his last 5 appearances, of allowing 4 or more earned runs. What's your level of concern with Reagans? Do you think this all plays back to the groin that he's dealing with, or do you think it's something deeper? What are your thoughts on Cole Reagans this year?
I think a lot of it is the injury, and that's been one of the knocks on him, is that he can't stay healthy all the time. And he did throw a lot of innings last year. That was the most innings that he had ever thrown in his career. So coming off of that, expecting him to do the same thing and replicate it this season is asking quite a lot of him. But I think he's kind of experiencing a bit of that fatigue in this season. I think actually going on the IL right now and getting a couple weeks of rest may actually bode him well, because he is able to kind of get back in the groove of things. And I think we're going to see him get back into who he was before he started giving up some more runs. I really do like his strikeouts. I feel like that's the one thing that, when he's on the mound, that's what you're going to get. So I think this IL stint is actually going to be really good for him.
And Michaela, last thing before we let you go, Royals-Giants Game 2 coming up Tuesday night. I know it's not listed as an official best bet of yours, but would you go back to the Royals here at plus money? Michael Lorenzen on the mound, he's been solid. I know on the road his numbers are a little worse than they are at home. He's been nearly perfect at home. But the Giants have Birdsong on the mound, probably will be a bullpen game. Do you go back to the Royals here, plus 115 or so?
I think so. Like you said, Lorenzen's been really good for the Royals. And I think if this is the game that they're going to win, tonight was pretty much a pitcher's duel until the 8th inning. And I think this one will be hopefully a lot better offensively. Lorenzen's been doing really well. Position players pitching, turn into a pitcher. He's been doing great. So I do like the Royals here. I think going against a bullpen game, like you said, will be really good for the offense for Kansas City. So hopefully they can get some runs going. But I do like the Royals in this matchup.
Yeah, they've won 4 of Lorenzen's last 5 starts. Michaela, as always, great stuff. Appreciate the time. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Michaela Bennett, check her out on Twitter and get her great picks over at Underdog Fantasy, the Twitter handle for Michaela, at MichaelaB_22. Giving out nothing but winners last couple of weeks here on Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo. And I'll tell you what, Michael Lorenzen, the home away splits for that Tuesday game upcoming, Royals-Giants, they're not pretty. ERA on the road over 5, ERA at home under 1. But KC has won 4 of his last 5 starts. 3 of his last 5, he's allowed 1 earned or fewer. Maybe you ride the hot hand at plus money. More Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo up next.
Welcome back to Cashing Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
All right, Cashing Out keeps on rolling with myself, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through the late hours of your Monday night here on the program. We've got some live action on the Diamond still going on. The Diamondbacks have answered LA's couple of runs, cutting it from 7-1 to 7-3. This one, again, once upon a time in Hollywood, was 7-0 Arizona. Well, Perdomo, the shortstop, has a 2-run homer of his own in the top of the 8th. 9-3 Arizona. Remember, we checked in on that live total not too long ago. It was 13.5. We're sitting at 12 in the bottom of the 8th. Brandon Pfaadt got through 6. How about this line for Brandon Pfaadt? Last time he pitched against the Dodgers, he recorded, I believe, 6 strikeouts. Going to double check that. Yes, he did. This time out, 0. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned. Each hit a solo home run, 1 by Ohtani, 2 by Betts. 1 walk. He went 10 up, 10 down to start before Mookie Betts got him in the 4th. 0 strikeouts, 95 pitches. A weird line, a quality start, a really strong start, minus, quite literally 3 pitches for Brandon Pfaadt. Just an interesting, weird statistical line, but that's baseball, and that's why we love it. How about Arizona? All 9 starters with a hit for the Diamondbacks. The 7 and 8 hitters, Tawa and Pavin Smith, with 2 hits, everyone else with 1. As Arizona's got 11, the Dodgers, like I said, have their 3 runs on 3 hits up against the Arizona bullpen now in the bottom of the 8th. It's 9-1-2. Kim goes down swinging. It'll be 1-2 Ohtani and Betts up here, down 6 with 1 out for the Dodgers. Angels led the A's 4-3 after 5. It was 4-2 after the 3rd, 4-3 after the 5th. That score has held, headed to the bottom of the 8th. It is still 4-3 Angels. The A's, if you want to get frisky and take a money line here, they've got 6 outs to play with against, let's call it what it is, a horrendous Angels bullpen. Albeit, they just swept the Dodgers. They're making a bid for win number 4 in a row. But the Angels bullpen has been anything but consistent this season. The A's plus $1.75. Hector Neris with his ERA of 1964. ERA not quite as old as my father, born in 1956. Yep, you heard that right. 1964. Hector Neris's ERA coming in to the game. That's how many innings has he pitched this year? 3 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs. Better question, how many games has he appeared in that he's only lasted 3 2/3? 8 games, 3 2/3 innings of work. That's embarrassing. 8 games, not even 4 innings in 8 games. That is embarrassing. Atlanta cut him loose after 2 appearances where he lasted a combined 1 inning and allowed 5 runs. So far as an Angel, 2 2/3, 3 earned. So Hector Neris really struggling to figure it out. The 35-year-old who was effective with Philadelphia for so long. Had some years where that ERA was north of 5, had others where it was sub 3, went to Houston, was an absolute stud, won a World Series with the Astros, went to Chicago, Atlanta, now the Angels on presumably the tail end of his career. So he'll come in. He's got the first out against the A's. We'll see if he can hold and give the Angels a chance to hand it over to Kenley Jansen with a lead in the 9th. So A's now from a plus $1.75 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. You can get them at 3-1. The A's to come back and complete the comeback at home. Those are the 2 live games still going on. Dodgers, D-backs, Angels, A's. How about we start looking ahead to Tuesday's MLB slate? Because you heard Michaela talk about it. I absolutely love the Detroit Tigers. And we've now had 2 guests come on the show, Michaela Bennett and Tanner Kern. And Michaela's gone Tigers money line and Scooble over 7.5 Ks. Tanner gave out the Tigers on the run line. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't lay 80 cents on the money line. I'd go run line at even money. That's at least what we're looking at with DraftKings. But Scooble over 7.5 Ks at plus $1.25. I know the Cardinals don't strike out a lot, right? I know that they are one of the better teams in terms of K rate and Ks per game, which I always like to take a look at. How many times do these teams strike out per game? St. Louis this year ranks 6th, only 7.5 times per game in their last 3, just 4 2/3 Ks per game. At home, like they are in this one, 6.5 Ks per game. All signs point towards the St. Louis Cardinals don't strike out at home, right? However, the St. Louis Cardinals don't face Tarik Skubal at home most of their games. I mean, he's coming in, and we talked about what he's been doing lately, right? 11 strikeouts in 3 of his last 4. He's gone over 7.5 in 4 straight and 5 out of 6 on the year. What Tarik Skubal has been doing is nothing shy of ridiculous. I mean, numbers pretty even at home versus on the road. Slightly better at home in terms of Ks per 9. At home, we're looking at 44 strikeouts and 30 1/3 innings pitched. On the road, 27 in 23 2/3 innings pitched. So 8 strikeouts. I understand the plus money price, but when he's gone over this in 4 straight starts, including 8 Ks in 6 innings at the Angels on just 73 pitches. Mind you, I mean, he could have kept going in that one. I mean, he got yanked 73 pitches in 6 innings in that game against the Angels, right? If he doesn't get pulled early in that one, he's got another inning at least in the tank. And I would say another strikeout or 2 in the tank. We could be looking at double-digit Ks 4 straight games. He's on an absurd heater right now. And current Cardinals hitters, haven't seen him much. Arenado's got 4 at-bats against them. Wilson Contreras has 3. They each have a strikeout. And Lars Nootbaar, is 0 for 1 against them. So 1 for 8 combined, 2 Ks. Not a strong sample size to work off of. But I feel like you got to ride the hot hand in a situation like this with Skubal. And, I mean, maybe if you're comfortable laying juice, you go over on a 6.5 number. I would probably take the plus 125 at over 7.5. I mean, that is for a guy, again, who's gone 8+ 4 straight games, 11+ 3 out of 4. To me, it feels borderline like a gift to take Skubal over 7.5 Ks at plus money. Let's shop around a little bit. Let's see. So if you want to go over 6.5, you can do it at FanDuel. You'd have to lay 50 cents. Caesars and DraftKings are plus $1.25 at 7.5. FanDuel is over 6.5 at minus 50 cents. Let's check in with our friends over at ProfitX. And it is early. Sometimes you got to go a little more day of. But, oh man, am I about to get over 6.5 at minus 110? That would feel insane. I think we might get Tarik Skubal over 6.5 at minus 110 odds on ProfitX. We're going to lock that in. Remember, you can request your own odds over there. Let's lock that in and see if we get matched, see if we get a play on Skubal over 6.5 strikeouts at minus 110. That's how good this guy has been. I mean, I'd be chef. If we get a match on that price, that is great. And for my friends in California, I know we've got viewers in California or any of the other 42, 43 states where this is ProfitX is a go. I mean, never be afraid to request your own odds. I did it with the Brandon Pfaadt play, over 15.5 outs. I requested even money on that. It got matched almost instantly. So always go ahead and request your own odds if you want. You'd be shocked how often it gets matched. And hey, we've won 26 out of 32. Obviously, we're doing something right. Folks, you want to know where the money's really going? If so, unlike other sources, our betting splits here at VSiN come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa, of course, known for taking big bets from the pros, while DraftKings provides more of a broad market perspective, meaning you're getting the real action, not just public money, but the kinds of wagers that move lines. See the percentage of bets versus the handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 your first month at VSiN.com/subscribe.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Cashing Out continues here on VSiN with myself, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through the late hours of your Monday night. We'll update you for a final time on the baseball. Dodgers 2 on, none out, bottom of the ninth. They weren't going to go down without swinging in this one. It was a Freddie Freeman leadoff double, a Will Smith infield single, little dribbler to first base. And now Ryan Thompson, not Ryan Thompson on the D-backs, Ryan Thompson pitching to Teoscar Hernandez with the Dodgers down 6. Wouldn't say I'm too worried about the Dodgers coming back to win this one, but at the top of the hour, we touched on the live total when it was 7-3 Arizona after 6. That live total, with the total then being 10, was sitting at 13.5. And right now, well, Teoscar Hernandez looks like a fly ball gets one in. It's 9-4. One more run, if you took that live total, that was of interest. One more run here for the Dodgers would get that. Right now, 9-4 Arizona with one out in the bottom of the ninth. And a guy who is always a threat to round the bases every time he steps into the batter's box, Max Muncy, up right now for the Dodgers. Looks like the A's are going to set down the Angels. They do. Luis Rengifo strikes out, top of the ninth. We head to the bottom of the ninth, the final frame of regulation at least. It is 4-3 Angels. There has been no scoring since the 5th inning. If you had a first 5 over, you cashed out. If you had a full game over, you're sitting here going, why the hell hasn't anyone scored since the conclusion of the 5th inning? 0 runs since the 5th. It's still 4-3 Angels. Jose Soriano in line for what would be his 3rd win of the season. 6 innings, 3 earned, quality start, 4 Ks. Also had 4 walks. Well, had a lot of base runners, 6 hits and 4 walks to somehow navigate that and only allow 3 runs to the A's. It'll likely be Kenley Jansen in to face 9-1-2 for the A's. Gio Urshela, Lawrence Butler, and Jacob Wilson, son of former Pirates shortstop Jack Wilson. Then if they can get on, Tyler Soderstrom and Brent Rooker would be up next. Soderstrom had 9 home runs in like 2 weeks. He's still sitting there on 10. Wilson, though, he's got that average, 339. Rooker has 10 home runs. Shea Langoliers in the 5 spot has 8. So if Butler, Wilson, even Urshela, who's leading off the inning, hitting in the 9 hole for the A's, if those guys can get on, the A's do have some pop that could potentially be due up this inning. As, again, in all likelihood, it doesn't say anything officially yet, but I'd imagine Kenley Jansen is on his way in for the Angels. By the way, folks, I do want to say, as we look at tomorrow's MLB slate, there's an opportunity. I couldn't believe my eyes. You can get the Phillies run line, which at every big book is about minus 180 at minus 1.5 runs. You can get minus 2.5 runs at about minus 120. You can get Phillies minus a run and a half. I was just looking at this on the Profit X app as I was placing my Scooble bet I just spoke about, over 6.5 Ks at minus 110. You can get Phillies minus 1.5 at about minus 145 on Profit X right now. Absurd. I mean, we're talking 40 cents better, 35, 40, 45 cents better than what the big major books are offering. Usually you're saving like 10 cents, maybe sometimes 20. We're talking anywhere between 35 and 45 cents better. If you want to go Phillies run line, I would lay $1.40. I did lay $1.40 for that. And I think it's still available at $1.42, $1.45. I mean, Jesus Luzardo on the bump opposite Antonio Senzatella? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, Senzatella's got a whip of about 8, and that's per inning, not per 9. Senzatella's whip per inning, because, I mean, that's what it is, right? Walks and hits per inning pitched. His single inning whip is equivalent to how many base runners some other starters allow in 9 innings. I mean, look at DeGrom in 9 innings, Senzatella in 1 inning, and we've got a live, legitimate comparison there. He has been awful. We've got to take a look at some Antonio Senzatella props in this Rockies-Phillies game on Tuesday, because my goodness, I mean, the K prop's 2.5. The K prop is 2.5. What are we doing here? That's right now the only thing I'm seeing. Let's see if we go into DraftKings here, because I was in my comparison. No, DraftKings hasn't even posted anything. I mean, earned runs, do we go over 2.5 on Senzatella? So here's the deal. It's a late game Tuesday. The books are a little slow at times with the later games to update them. Let's pull up Senzatella's game log here and look at what we've been dealing with. So the Rockies have lost, well, I don't even want to say they've lost 4 straight starts of his, because duh. I mean, the Rockies lose no matter who pitches. His last start against the Phillies, April 3rd in Philadelphia. It might have been the Phillies home opener. One of the weirdest games I've ever seen in my life. 5 1/3 innings pitched. 10 hits. Didn't allow an earned run. Somehow. Some way, somehow. Allowed 10 hits and worked out of it. Got 14 ground balls. That's how. 1 run did score, but he didn't allow an earned run. He's 1-7 on the year. His ERA is 6.5. Look at his last 4 starts. You're looking at 6 earned. 4 earned, 8 runs, 4 earned. That was against the Padres. 4 earned against San Fran. 4 earned against Cincinnati. 1 earned against the Nationals. 4 earned against the Dodgers. 8 earned against, I mean, his earned run prop, I bet, is going to come out at 3.5, not 2.5. He's allowed 4 earned runs or more in 6 out of his last 7 starts. Insanity. He looked, I mean, through 2 starts this year, he had gone 9 2/3 innings, didn't allow an earned run. ERA was 0 after 2 starts. Since then, I mean, I can't do the math that quickly, but since then, he's allowed 4 earned or more in 6 out of 7. Losses by 5, 4, 4, 2. Win by 2, lost by 2, lost by 15. So I can't get there on laying 2.5. I mean, Luzardo's pitching. He's been lights out. The Rockies also strike out a ton. What are we looking at K-prop-wise for Mr. Jesus Luzardo? That's the flame-throwing lefty on Philly who didn't get suspended 80 games, if you're keeping score. Luzardo, we're looking at over 6.5, plus $1.25. Been a little light on the K's lately. He hasn't gone over 6.5, 4 straight starts. Got 7 April 20th, got 8 April 4th, got 11 his first start out against the Nationals. So he's only gone over this 3 times this year. The K's per 9 this year, not glowing. Respectable, 9.5, but not glowing. But the Rockies strike out a ton. I mean, he got 6 and 7 innings against the Cardinals, 6 and 5 1/3 against Arizona, 7 and 7 against the Marlins, 8 and 7 against the Dodgers. The fact that he's only gone, Luzardo, that is, 7 or more strikeouts once in his last 7 starts alarms me. But, I mean, we're looking at plus $1.25 against a Rockies team, ladies and gentlemen, that strikes out the most in baseball. 9.8 times per game. At home, 9.5. Last 10 Ks per game. I don't know. Maybe we lay some juice on Luzardo to go 6 strikeouts. Let's pull up what we can get. At DraftKings, 6 Ks or more is minus 150 if you're comfortable laying that juice. If you shop around, you can get Luzardo strikeouts. Let's take a little gander, shall we? Looks like you can get over 6.5 at... No, that's not plus money at ProfitX, is that? All right, it looks like someone's got under 6.5 at minus 130. We're going to go ahead. And yes, because that's 6.5. All right, I'm looking at 6 plus, excuse me. All right, so we'll see if we can get over 5.5 at a better price than minus 150. I would trust Luzardo, no question, to go 6 plus Ks. If it's not available at a better price than minus 150, I will probably take him to go over the 6.5 at plus money. Folks, don't forget, start your day with an edge and a game plan. The VSiN Daily Morning Bets podcast, where you can hear me 5 days a week, is your first look at the day's lines, sharp action, and market movement. In under 15 minutes, you get everything you need to know to make smarter bets and stay ahead of the line movement, all before you finish your morning coffee. It's hosted by our team, like I said, myself 5 days a week. The Daily Morning Bets. It's fast, focused, and built for bettors like you. Listen to the VSiN Daily Morning Bets wherever you get your podcasts or on the VSiN Watch app.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.